Top of the day, everybody. It is Friday, August the 16th. Bitcoin has made a hammer reversal on the 4-hour bars on some very strong volume. And I want to jump into the charts and take a look at what's going on so that we can monitor our indicators against the 1, 2, 3 patterns as they are unfolding. Before we do that, just a quick look at the disclaimer. This is not trading advice, just market observation. So let's jump right into the market now. We're looking at the weekly view and checking out the RSI on the weekly view. From here, we can see that the candle has actually shortened a bit from this morning, and it's pulled back to some really important levels. Earlier, I was watching for the weekly RSI to make a sharp bounce and come back up, and that would have drawn us back up into a larger move. But as it broke and started to come back here, I was anticipating these were top formations, exhaustion wick candles, and that we were going to be coming down to $7,500. But now, as we zoom in, we'll see what's going on in the market. It makes me look back over here in the RSI to see what might be going on in the weekly and what we might be able to anticipate just by looking left in the charts, looking to see what's happened before. And this was the beginning of the really big bull run from September 2015 till December 2017. This was the beginning of it. And this turned into an enormous ascending wedge triangle here. So if we're watching for that to shape up, we should see our indicators, all of them giving us support for that kind of takeoff as we're starting to flow out here. So let's zoom in now on the daily RSI. I'm still seeing this divergence, lower highs. It's not really a divergence, it's got lower highs as well. And we're down to pretty important levels that if it bounces up off of these levels, we're going up higher. If it goes down below those levels, then we're going lower. This is really a key level that we were identifying there yesterday too. But it's ticked up higher off of that yesterday. And as we zoom into the 12-hour, you can see the power in the RSI picking up here as prices are too. Let's zoom into the 4-hour time frame. This is where the RSI was massively oversold. Hasn't been this oversold in the 4-hour RSI since way back here. We have to go back a long ways in order to see where it was that oversold as it was coming down to these massive moves and coming down not completely to the bottom, but certainly close to the bottom. We'll watch for divergences in this RSI as we're setting up here now. So that's the 4-hour RSI. Zoom back in on that. We can see how that's picking up, and it coincides exactly with this hammer reversal candle. So these reversal candles are really important, whether they're at the top or the bottom. So when we have them up here, they're exhaustion candles. When we have them down here, they're exhaustion candles too, but for the other side, going the other way. And especially when they line up with a 1, 2, 3 formation, they get more and more powerful. So let's zoom in on this. On the 2-hour time frame, now we're starting to see the 1, 2, 3 formation start to shape up. This is the number 1 point. We came down quite a bit out of this move. This was a real big move down, and the RSI on the 4-hour time frame is super oversold. Here on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that the RSI was a major divergence from Bitcoin as it bumped off of there. Now we've got the number 1 point. It came up, made the number 2 point, down and made the number 3 point, touched it again. Now we're at the point of breaking above that, which is really important technical levels all the way back. To break above that would be really significant. Poking above it, not so much. If we break above it and then we get some support and some structure above it, then that's helping. So if we break above this, that could be the buy signal. If we come back and touch it and then break out, that's more of a confirmation of the buy signal for me. But it's all setting up here, and we can see the RSI is all for it. Very excited on the 1-hour time frame. Looks like it's breaking out pretty much as we're talking right now. Let's go into the next indicators so that we finish our sweep. Here we are in the weekly view, watching this reversal wick against this reversal wick, which is going to be the stronger. We can see the volume is a little bit weaker as we moved along through these weeks. As we go through these days, the volume, good volume, not as good volume. So we really have to see volume break those levels. It really has to pick up while we're breaking probably above these levels in this range before we're breaking up above here. Need to see this volume. That's on the daily view. Let's go into the 12-hour view and see how this is playing out on this side of the chart here. Make sure I got everything all working here. First with the webcam. No, I did the webcam years ago as well. The first time I put it back on. But if you appreciate it, give it a thumbs up. I can do all the exciting thing of all the other crypto guys. It's okay. Just most of the days I'm rough shaven and I look rough. So it's easier to do it without the camera. Now the on-balance volume is weaker here as we're going flat. It still hasn't turned to positive on the 4-hour time frame. And I was kind of expecting that it would be positive. Go into the 1-hour time frame and it's a different story. We can really see quite a bit of buying going on here. This big reversal wick didn't flash to a big positive on balance volume. It just went a lot less negative. So I don't know. It's not giving me the feel right now like we were having back through this time where all the indicators everywhere were just like screaming we're going to be going up. Look at the divergences we had here. All the way through this was major that we were going to be going up, and it staged nicely off of those moves. And our indicators were giving us a top formation here. We were getting weakening signals here. This was giving us the sell signal when the exponential moving averages on the 4-hour time frame crossed over. On the 4-hour time frame, when this crossed over, I put out an alert for our crypto trading pro group to say you should be at least some of your Bitcoin should be in stablecoin now. Once that crosses there, you got to be staging out of your Bitcoin. It has not staged back in yet. So I really have to see some of this build and change direction. And if we are going back to that period of time in 2015, it's going to take some time to go sideways, and it's going to give us that ascending wedge triangle that there will be no mistake. All of our indicators will be all lining up. We'll have these divergences going on. Let me go back there. Because we do have this divergence going on. That is a nice divergence, just like we were seeing here. So if we see it continue, that's telling us it's building the structure right there. I love it. So we can see that on the 1-hour time frame, 15-minute time frame, volume and more volume taking off here. Really good. This is a hot candle at this minute. This is actually my trading signal manifesting. Boom, right there. Should we go long? Well, I'll do that later. But there's the trading signal unfolding out of the 1, 2, 3 formation while we have this divergence setting up. Beautiful. Love to see it. Let's go on to the next chart. Here we're looking at the MACD on the weekly, and this has been such an important one for me every time we go through this episode, is to see this morning, this is such a tease. This morning, this was touching and almost crossing. The histogram was flat. It was almost going negative. This was right at the very edge of a cross there, and it's pulled back. It's pulled further apart than it was this morning. Now, let's go into the daily and see what's going on with that. Because the daily has also been really important as we've been watching this unfold. I've been watching this to see, are we in a top formation similar? I wasn't watching 2015 to see if we're in something similar here. This is actually quite... Okay, so this ran up really good and then crossed over. Pardon me. So I don't see the similarities in this jumping out at me. I'll have to take a look at this more carefully and see how this might mean the same thing maybe as this section right here. Maybe we have some similarities going on with what's there. Let's go into the 1-day view again. So we're zoomed into the present. This is what we're looking at. And it's not telling me anything. This is negative, actually. It's crossed to the negative. The histograms are still going down. It's not giving me a positive view. When I go into the 12-hour time frame, it gives a little bit more positive view in that the histograms are easing off more this way. I wonder if there are keyboard shortcuts where I could bring up these tools instead of clicking back and forth a billion times here. There we are, breaking out, but again, the 12-hour is barely turning positive, not fully yet. And in the past, prior, when we did have all of our indicators lining up for a big bull move right off of recently, this was quite different. So it may need more time sideways for this to finish itself out before we're going. This may not be mature yet. So that's on the 12-hour. Now in the 4-hour time frame, the last couple days, actually, we've been looking at this crossover, saying that is a bullish crossover, even though I'm thinking bearish and that it's going down to 7,500. That is a bullish crossover, and it has maintained and grown more bullish too. So let's zoom into the 1-hour time frame. This had the crossover, and then a more positive crossover, and then we flared up. So this indicator is beautiful for me to see these divergences and to see the crossovers and how they're working with the 1, 2, 3 formation. I'm putting them together now, and I hope that you are finding value in this as well. And these are making sense to you. These are making pictures in your mind now, so that when you see this pattern in a different chart, you know what to do. It's like batting coaching, but you still have to do the batting, really. If you're going to be in a baseball game, it's good to have a batting coach, but you're the one that has to actually know and be there at the moment, like we just were a few minutes ago when it was crossing those moments, to make that decision and make that play, to swing the bat, make contact right at that time. Beautiful. That's the 1-hour time frame. We'll just go to the 15-minute to take a look at it. It did give us a better cross and a better cross here. It's flaring positive. So we had the divergence in the 15-minute time frame coming off of this. We did have the indicators telling us ahead of time that this was building up to be taking off. Now we'll see how far up this goes. Let's go on to the Ichimoku cloud to finish things up here for today. We're in the weekly view. And of course, the weekly view for the Ichimoku cloud is going to give us lots of time. This is a longer term trend following, and it'll really keep you in the trend for the full thing. In the daily view, we're almost coming to a negative crossover here. Now, the Ichimoku cloud did really well in finding that last little slide here on the 1-hour time frame. And I just want to observe what's going on with the daily. For these crossovers of the conversion line, the baseline, the trailing indicator, the twist of the indicator, the cloud, not giving it to me here on the daily. It's not looking bullish yet. On the 12-hour time frame, it's not looking bullish yet either. Always got to slide this chart over because it's got a part that sticks out. So this is twisted to the negative. This is crossed to the negative. This poked through the cloud a little bit. If it pokes back through the cloud, that's more of a sell signal. The one thing that's changed is that this trailing line has bounced off. It didn't cut through both blue and red. That would have been the final sell signal confirmation there. And it didn't do that. So let's watch and see what's going on the 12-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame gave us the negative signal earlier, way earlier, and then we had this drop down here that the 1-hour time frame confirmed for us, but we still haven't turned back positive. Actually, we're in a negative cloud that has gone wide, indicating that it's going to go sideways for a bit. We're not going to have a big blast straight up until this cloud behaves itself in the 4-hour time frame. We're still looking like it's on the way down, and just floating in this area, this wouldn't give us any signals at all for a while yet. So moving into the 1-hour time frame, that's a buy. It's poked through the cloud. We have a positive. We've got the positive cross. We've got the green crossing both the blue and the red. Crossed above the cloud. It confirms our 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout buy that we saw, that the MACD was confirming, the on-balance volume was confirming, and the relative strength index was confirming. So this 1-hour Ichimoku is really turning out to be kick-ass in this shorter term time frame. Really nailed it here, and I was not really believing it. I was expecting for bull. I was wanting for bull here, but as it broke here, it was right, and I was not paying attention properly. I am going to pay more attention to the Ichimoku cloud now. This is looking awesome, taking off from here. Really good, great in combination. Moving into the 15-minute time frame, it already gave us the breakout earlier. This crossed over quite a bit earlier through both the blue and the red. The blue crossed over the red earlier. The cloud twisted positive earlier. So this gave us the buy signal, more like a springboard pattern than just the 1, 2, 3. So the 1, 2, 3 would be bigger. 1, 2, 3, and there's your breakout. But the springboard pattern is like the 1, 2, 3 bottom. It respects the 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's anticipating the 1, 2, 3 bottom, but it recognizes that when you have a 1, 2, 3 shape up at the point of the number 3 point, this could be a trading signal here, and I call it a springboard entry. I love it because it broke out of that little 1, 2, 3 bottom, and then it pulled back to retest these levels and hesitated. On strength from there, Ichimoku is agreeing. This is a buy signal on the 15-minute time frame. So to see it manifesting out of the 15-minute and then manifesting out of the 1 hour time frame is great. I would like to see it consolidate here, and it'll give me a chance to go and do that long signal that I just missed while we were doing the live stream here. Phenomenal. Really great to see all of this stuff for Bitcoin. But as we go back to Bitcoin dominance, the altcoin holders are kind of shedding a tear. As we move back and back here, every time this has come to a position, let me get a drawing tool. Every time it's come to a bottom position here, or making a top formation. So we got the number 1, we got the number 2, we got the number 3. It's almost breaking. Almost looked like the Bitcoin dominance was going to slide down and the altcoins would finally get a chance. But not yet. And so far, not yet either. As this starts to finally one day fade, we'll see a top formation. And we'll see this break. As it's breaking key levels, then the alts are going to be breaking out of 1, 2, 3 bottoms on the 4 hour time frame, 1, 2, 3 bottoms in the 12-hour time frame, and this will confirm the trend change and give us that parallel channel to be watching for Bitcoin dominance to stay inside. And when we get that parallel channel let me draw a parallel channel. It's going to give us notice on where to get out of alts, because as this comes down, as it breaks out of this channel, no matter where it is, it's going to do a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, break out of the channel, and that will signify to get back out of the alts. They'll probably making top formations at that very same time right there. Those are the things we're watching for. And right now, with Bitcoin prices taking off, it is definitely a buy signal. We see that in all of our indicators all lining up. Now the next couple shows we'll be monitoring this to see where can we catch the top. When is it going to make a top formation? Anywhere, doesn't matter. We'll just keep watching. And I'm going to be watching for the RSI to go very overbought and then break this trend line. Here we are in the 15-minute time frame. Here we are in the 1 hour time frame. So now in the 1 hour time frame, we've got a trend line with the RSI that when it breaks that, it's going to be important. It'll probably coincide with a top. We'll watch for that at levels like this and like this. All the way along, we'll watch for divergences in our RSI. We'll watch for the on-balance volume to start fading off. But, from this position here, if I go back to the 4 hour time frame and clear off the indicators, zoom this back, go to the 12-hour time frame. Here we have our 200 period moving average. And you see how the 200 period moving average is subjective. I was in the 4 hour time frame. It didn't match up where the prices were bouncing off of it. So I went to a different time frame. Hey, the prices are bouncing off the 200 period moving average. That's huge. It is huge so long as it backs up with a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and our indicators giving us those divergences, then such a coincidence becomes more important. But until then, it's more of a coincidence. You just have to use it consistently all the time, and then you'll be able to use those in your trading. So that wraps it up for today. Let me go over and see if there are any questions. Let me get the focus. Refocus. There we go. Good 4G camera. Good to have you along, Brian Fritz. That's hard for English to read that. Rick, good to have you here. Alfredo, thank you for tuning in. And I will sign off here. Great to have you along, Brian, and I appreciate that you love my energy. This stuff is super exciting to me. It's how money is made. This is how money is made. You could earn dollars per hour. That's a way to earn a living, but this is how money is made, more than just a living. Take this stuff, add it to what Tony Robbins teaches about making money your friend. Bring it home, make it your pet, fall in love with it, take good care of it, give it treats. Treat your money like you love it. Don't treat it like you're angry about it or you're resentful about it or you feel scarce about it. Fall in love with money and money will fall in love with you. Anyway, I'll sign off for today, and I'm looking forward to the next few episodes to see where does this top out. Now I got to go watch and see if I can get into my long. Now that it's already moved a little bit, I think I'll hang back and watch and just hold the Bitcoin I have rather than going long on it. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I'll sign off for this one. Cheers. Bye for now.